Hi there, welcome to third grade. I'm your teacher, Mr. Ritenour, and today we are going to explore 4 topics. The first quarter, we've got some GoMath. We're finishing up our Chapter 11 review. The second quarter, we are going to learn more about germs on mystery science. And then halftime, you're going to take a break and come back for the third quarter where we're going to do grammar simple solutions, and then we're going to finish up the day with some common sense, all right? So I am going to put myself in the corner, and while I do that, will you please get your GoMath book out and open up to page 690. We're going to finish that chapter 11 review today. Okay, so we are on page 690 at the top here with question number 10. Sean drew a rectangle that was 2 units wide, so the width is 2, and 6 units long. We need to draw a different rectangle, so different dimensions, that has the same perimeter but a different area. Same perimeter but a different area. This takes me back to the lesson we had the other day where we were finding different areas for the shapes that had the same perimeter. So first of all, let's find the perimeter of the first rectangle that he drew. So if it's a 2 by 6, the perimeter is going to be 2 plus 6 plus 2 plus 6, right? So what's 2 and 6? Good job. 8. 2 and 6 is 8. So what is 8 plus 8? Carson? 16. 16 is the perimeter. Good job. So we've got 16 units for rectangle 1. We need a different rectangle that also has 16 units but a different area. So let's ask ourselves a question here. Let's ask ourselves, what can we add 4 times to get 16? So 16 equals 4 times what? Why did I do 4 times? Well, 4 sides on a rectangle. So 4 times what equals 16? Yeah, 4 times 4. So if I drew a rectangle that was a 4 by 4, which is actually a square, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is going to have a perimeter of 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, which is 16. So I've successfully drawn a different rectangle that has the same perimeter, but a different area. Another way of doing that would be to look at the side lengths of rectangle 1. So if rectangle 1 has side lengths of 2 and 6, what other numbers could add up to 8? Because that's what 2 and 6 equal, right? Well, 3 and 5 would work. We already did 4 and 4. You could have also said 1 and 7. All those would have worked out, and all 3 of these answers, plus I guess the one that we did, the purple one, the 4 and 4, they all have different areas, but they all have the same perimeter of 16. So you could have done any of those options. Okay, let's move on. Number 11, Mrs. Rios. She puts up a wallpaper border around the room. Not a big fan of wallpaper, but she used 72 feet for the border. So if we're thinking border, we should automatically think what? Area or perimeter? What do you think? For border, the outside. Very good, Sophie. We should be thinking perimeter. So what is the unknown side length? Show your work. Well, We know the perimeter is what, folks? It says in the question. She used 72 feet. So 72 is going to equal all the sides added together. So we know all the sides except for this one right here. That's what we're trying to figure out. So let's add up the other numbers. So I'm going to write this up and down so that it's easy to add. We've got 20, 8, 14, 8, 6. All right, Popo, what would you do first? Would you do 0 plus 8? You could do that. Would you do 4 plus 8? I would do something different. Wouldn't you, Emily? Wouldn't you do 4 and 6 to make a nice neat 10? Yeah. So now you've got 8 and 10 make 18. And then you've got this 8 left. So what's 18 and 8 going to equal? 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So you put your 6 down here. You carry your 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 1 is, very good, Lucas, 5. So we've got 56 feet is the answer, right? No, that's not right. I tricked you, okay? I tricked you. 56 is all the sides except for the missing answer. All right, this is what's left. Side A. We've got to add A to 56, and that's going to equal 72. So if we can't add forwards, because we don't know, let's try subtracting backwards. So let's try doing 72, I'm going to do it up here, minus 56, and that's going to give me my missing answer. All right, so 2 minus 6, Bobby? Good, Bobby. More on the floor, go next door. 12 minus 6, Peyton? Which one, right? Patina. Good, and then Fish, 6 minus 5, 1. So our answer is 16, and it already gives you our label of feet. All right, I'm going to try to remember to call on everyone, but it's hard to remember who I've already called on. I should print myself a list. Oh wait, I don't have a printer, so I can't really do that. Elizabeth has 2 gardens in her yard. Wow, she must be a florist or very pretentious. The first garden is 6 feet by 4 feet. The second garden is double the width of the first garden. The area of the second garden is double the area of the first garden. For numbers 12a through 12d, select true or false. Wow. Okay, so before we can even start this, I think it would be best if we figured out the area of the first garden. So let me just make a table here. This is garden 1. This is garden 2. All right, so let's see. The dimensions of garden 1 are 6 by 4. And the second garden is double the width. So it's 6 still as the length, and the width would be double 4. What's double 4, Cody? Good, 8. All right, so let's figure out the area for garden 1. So I'm going to do the area in purple. So garden 1 is 6 times 4. 6 times 4, London. Good, 24. And the area of garden 2. What's 6 times 8, Evan? 6 and 8 went on a date, 19. Good, 48. So those are the areas. We could find the perimeter, but I didn't see anything in the problem about perimeter. So I'm not going to find that if I don't have to. All right, so let's look at 12a. So this question is for you, Doobie. The area of the first garden is 24 square feet. Is that true? We'll look at garden 1 over here. The area we found in purple, 24 feet. Square feet because it's area, so that would be true, right, Doobie? Okay. The area of the second garden is 48 square feet. 48. Okay, this one's for you, Willow. Look at garden number 2, and the area's in purple. What do we have? 48 square feet, so that's also true. All right, letter C. The length of the second garden is 12 feet. 12 feet. What do we think? Jasper? Garden 2? Do you see 12 anywhere? The length right here? Is that 12? No, definitely not. So this one would be false. Good job. And the length of the second garden is 6 feet. Well, Wiley, if you look here, I just underlined 6. So that is the length of the second garden. So would that be true or false? Yeah, that would be true. All right. Talk about a tricky problem here. I hate when GoMath tries to stick their foot out and trip you. Let's move on to the next page. Marcus bought some postcards. Cool. Each one had a perimeter of 16 inches. That's important. Perimeter of 16 inches. Which could be one of the postcards Marcus bought. Mark all that apply. So if you see that, chances are there's more than one right answer, right? So let's find the perimeter of each one, and each one that equals 16 will fill in the bubble. So we got a 3 by 5. So 3 plus 5 is 8. Double 8, and you get 16. There we go. 1 for 1. All right. How about number 2? 6 plus 4. See, I'm adding the side lengths, and I get 10. So I could double that, or I could keep adding. It doesn't matter. Whichever way you like to do it. It's going to give you 10 plus 10, which is 20. So we know this one is 9. How about 5 plus 10? 5 plus 10 is 15. So 15 doubled is not 16. Obviously, it is what? 30. Very good. So that one would not work. And how about the last one? What's 4 plus 4? 4 plus 4 is 8. What is 8 doubled? 8 doubled, which would be 4 times 4. 16. Well done. So A and D are the correct answers. Scroll in, scroll in, scroll in. Okay, Anthony wants to make 2 different rectangular flower beds. So many flower beds. Come on, people. Let's make a deck or something. Something cool, more manly than flower beds. I guess a garden's kind of like neutral. I like gardening. Anyway, each with an area of 24 square feet. You know what? Actually, what about a tree house? That would be really cool for both boys and girls. For me, it could be like, like a tree stand, for deer hunting. But anyway, stop talking, Mr. R. Each with an area of 24 square feet. So I'm going to underline that because that's important. He will build a wooden frame around each flower bed. Whew, sounds like perimeter because we're going around the edge. The flower beds will have side lengths that are whole numbers. Whole numbers are any number that doesn't have a decimal or a fraction attached to it. So let's read part A. Each unit square on the grid below is 1 square foot. Draw 2 possible flower beds, label each with a letter. All right, so what do we know? We know that flower bed A is what we'll call the first one. It's going to have an area of 24 square feet. And flower bed, why not just call it flower bed B? It's also going to have an area of 24 square feet. We just know one thing, all right? That's the area. We don't know what the side lengths are, but we do know that they're going to look different. So they're probably going to have a different perimeter. So let's just think right off the top of our heads. For letter A, what two numbers do we know multiply to give us 24? So what times what gets 24? What was that, fish? 6 times 4? Genius. Very good. 6 times 4. So let's draw 6 by 4. I'm going to use my shapes here. So I'm just going to start this one in the top corner. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 down by 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 wide. All right, let's label my sides. Oops, almost wrote 6. 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to call this one shape A because it says in the directions to label each with a letter. Okay, switching colors here. Let's look at rectangle B. It's got the same area. So it's also going to have two factors that equal 24. What else equals 24 besides 6 times 4? What do you think? What do you think, London? You know who I forgot to call on? Michael. Sorry, Michael. You get the next question. What did you get, London? Yeah, I could do 12 times 2, but I'm going to do 8 times 3. 8 times 3, let's do it. I'm going to draw mine over on this side. Oh, sugar plums. That's what I get for trying to be special. 1, 2, 3 down by 1, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. Gosh, these are tiny. So that should be 3 by 8, if I counted right. Hopefully I did. 3 by 8. And this is going to be called rectangle B. Success. Do both rectangles have an area of 24? Yep. Do both rectangles have side lengths that are whole numbers? Yep. And do both of them have different perimeters? Yep. Time to move on to part B. Which of the flower beds will take more wood to frame? How do you know? Man, they love asking these questions that want you to explain. They're killing me, Smalls. Suck it up. Let's just do it. Get through it. Be a man about it. Or woman. Sorry, girls. Okay, so how are we going to know which one takes more wood to frame? Well, we're thinking frame, right? The outside. Sorry, you can't really see. Frame. The perimeter. So let's figure out which one has a bigger perimeter because that's going to take more wood. So shape A, it's a 4 by 6. So that's 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 6. So let's just do 4 plus 6 is 10, and then double that to get the other two sides. So we're looking at 20 feet of wood for shape A. So this is A. And for B, we've got side lengths 3 plus 8, which equals 11. We're going to double that, and we're going to get 22 feet. So which one is bigger? Which one will take more wood? Shape B. So the answer is flower bed B, and then this is the part that I hate. It says explain. And you can't just say, because I did the work. You have to actually explain. Flower bed B, because this is an easy explanation, right? We just did it. Why? What did we do to find out 22? What did we do to find out 20? Because we found the perimeter, right? So flower bed B because it has a greater. Oh my goodness. The people that grade these, they just like love it when you use math words. Like they start drooling when they see words like perimeter. Trust me. Kind of like your teacher with donuts. Just starts to drool. Flower bed B because it has a greater perimeter. Okay. Success. Do we have more? Yep, we do. Last page. 2 questions. Shouldn't be too hard. Keisha, or Kesha, not really sure, draws a sketch of her living room on grid paper. Each unit square is 1 square meter. Write and solve a multiplication equation that can be used to find the area of the living room in square meters. So area, right off the bat, we're thinking what times what? Yes. Length times width. Good work. So length times width here. Let's do it. The length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times the width. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 10 times 4. Sorry, I was just rereading the directions. 10 times 4 equals 40. And Michael, what's my label? Good. Not just meters, but square meters. So the answer that I put on the line is 40 square meters. Okay, number 16. Mr. Wicks. He must love candles. A bunch. Mr. Wicks designs houses. He probably doesn't use candles. He uses grid paper to plan a new house design. The kitchen will have an area between 70. So between means it's somewhere in between 70 and 85 square feet. So it's not 70 or 85, it's either 71, 72, blah, 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 all the way up to 84. The pantry, that's where you store canned goods and chips and snacks, will have an area between, oh, here's that word, between 4 square feet and 15 square feet. Draw and label a diagram to show what Mr. Wicks could design. Explain how to find the total area. Ah, man. How am I going to solve this problem? The kitchen has an area between 70 and... Okay, so the pantry is going to be inside the kitchen, right? At least that's what I think. Like my kitchen has a pantry in it. So let's see. The total area has to be between 70 and 85 square feet. Let's just start there. What two numbers can we multiply to get us somewhere in between 70 and 85? Let's see. Well, 7 times 10 is 70. So what about 8 times 10? 8 times 10 is 80. And 80 is between 70 and 85. Booyah, we got our dimensions right here, an 8 by 10. So let's draw an 8 by 10 to start with. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Let me just double check. 2, 2, 4, 6. Here we go. Sorry, I've got old man eyes. So here we have our 8 by 10. It's important to label. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Ah! My bad. My elbow clicked the next page. So 8 by 10. That was crazy. Now I need to worry about this pantry here. So I'm going to tuck my pantry in this bottom corner down here, okay? I'm going to tuck it in right there. And I need it to be this part I'm going to do in a different color. Something by something to have an area somewhere in between 4 and 15. Well, I want a big pantry, right? I got a lot of chips I need to store. So let's just do is there any two numbers you can multiply by to get something higher, like 14? Uh-huh. What times what equals 14? Mm-hmm. You guessed it. Good job, Wiley. 7 times 2. So I need to make a pantry that's 2 by 7 down in this corner. So let me just take my colors here, and I'm going to make my pantry purple because purple's awesome. And it's going to be 1, 2, by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a huge pantry. Huge pantry. We're going to be able to store so many things, guys, in this pantry. It's going to be awesome. And I'm going to just shade in this pantry. I'm going to make it light purple on the inside. All right, so I need to label my pantry. It is a 2 by 7 pantry, and I'm going to just call it pantry. And I better label my kitchen too. Kitchen. Boy. Sorry, my stylus doesn't work very well in tiny little areas. So now I've got my kitchen labeled and my pantry labeled, and I've got an area of 80 total, and my pantry's got an area of 14. So that works. That fits the description. Explain how to find the total area. Well, find the total area by doing length times width. You could always take your pantry and you could always put it outside, and then you'd have to find the total area by adding the pantry plus the kitchen. So let's just if I did it that way, I could add it, but let's just leave it as it is. Goodness gracious, my silly elbow. Stop clicking things. So let's just leave it at this. So the total area would be the length times the width of the total kitchen. So kitchen length times width. And we're going to leave it at that. All right, so good work. We are officially done with GoMath, and it took us almost 30 minutes. I apologize. There was a lot of explaining to do on this lesson. So here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to pause the video here after I'm done talking, and I'm just going to call it halftime right now, even though we've only done 1/4. And then we're going to fit all 3 quarters into the second half of the lesson. And it's not going to be that hard to do because we go pretty quick with simple solutions, and common sense is really short today. So that's what we're going to do. I want you to go ahead and pause now and go take a little break and then come back whenever you're ready, okay? All right, welcome back. Let's jump in to some mystery science, okay? So I'm going to put myself in the corner. And today's video is called How Do Germs Get Inside Your Body? I found this very fascinating. Some of you kind of already have an idea of how germs can get in and hurt you, but hopefully you learn a couple things during this video, and hopefully this information will help you right now as we're battling a serious virus, which we know is a germ from yesterday's lesson, or sorry, 2 days ago. So let's play, sit back, and enjoy.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Natasha.
I have a question for you. How do germs get inside of your body?
Ooh, that's a great question. From the time all of us are really young, adults are telling us about germs, right? Like if food falls on the floor. Don't eat that, it might have germs on it. We're told it's important to cover our mouths when we sneeze, and to wash our hands before we eat. It seems like germs must be everywhere. But what really are germs anyway? I mean, you might know that they're extremely tiny living things that can make you sick. They're so small that you can't see them with your eyes alone. But what I mean is, it's not like germs make you sick just by being near you. Otherwise, we'd be getting sick all the time. When we do get sick, somehow it means germs were able to get inside our bodies in order to make us feel that way. How do they do that? What do you think?
Great question, Mystery Science. How do you think? All right, let's take a second. Talk about it with either your mom or dad or brother or sister, or if no one's around, just think about it in your head. How do we get germs in our body? If you're still talking, go ahead and pause the video, finish your conversation, and come back whenever you're ready.
Well, before I tell you this, maybe one thing that might surprise you is that people haven't always known that germs are what make us sick. In fact, before the microscope was invented, no one even knew that germs existed. They were just too small for anyone to have noticed them. If you've ever been curious, here's what some of them look like. There are lots of different kinds of germs, and different germs cause different sicknesses. Like this one here, this is one of the germs that causes the common cold. Here's one that can cause you to throw up, one that you might hear people call a stomach bug. Or here's one of the germs that causes the flu. The discovery of germs was really important because once we figured out that it's germs that cause people to get sick, we could finally start to do something about how to stop them. Figuring out how to kill germs once they're inside your body, that involves medicine. Everything from the traditional knowledge of helpful plants to the discovery of special medicines like vaccines and antibiotics. But what if you could figure out how to stop germs from ever getting into your body in the first place? How do they even get into your body? From all of the things you hear adults say about washing your hands and not touching things on the ground, maybe it's tempting to think that just touching germs alone can make you sick. Maybe they can get through your skin. But by doing careful experiments, scientists have been able to figure out that this is not how most germs get into your body. It turns out most germs, especially ones that cause colds and flu, are only able to get into your body through openings, places like your mouth, your nose, your eyes. Wait, so as long as you just make sure not to get any germs into your mouth or your nose or your eyes, you're basically sure to not catch a cold or get the flu? Whoa. Does this mean you could even stand right next to someone who has these germs in their body and not ever get sick? Well, technically, yes. But here's where things get a little trickier than it first seems. You see, what if that person sneezes or coughs? Check out what happens when you sneeze or cough as seen in slow motion. You see all those tiny droplets that go into the air? If the person sneezing or coughing is sick, each one of those droplets is likely to contain some of the germs that's making them sick. If you breathe those germs in, either through your nose or your mouth, now you might get whatever sickness they have. Seeing a slow motion video like this makes it so real why everyone is always saying to cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. At least then, the droplets won't go into the air. They stay in your elbow or tissue instead. But someone else sneezing or coughing into the air isn't the only way germs can get inside your body. You would be surprised how often we rub our eyes, rub our noses, put our fingers near our mouths, even without realizing it. Sometimes, especially when people know there are germs going around, you'll hear adults give the advice, try not to touch your face. That can be so hard to follow, though. Like, what if you've got an itch and you just have to touch your face? And I mean, what are we supposed to just never touch our faces? You can't do this or this? Well, the good news is, touching your fingers to any part of your face doesn't mean germs are definitely going to get inside your body. It's only a concern if your hands might have germs on them. Like, for example, if you've been touching a surface that lots of other people touch. This is the reason why everyone is always saying to wash your hands really well. It's because we often bring our hands near our faces, whether it's to rub our eyes or even just when we're eating. If each of us make sure we wash our hands before we touch our face or before we eat, the soap and water rinse any germs off so that those germs will go down the drain and not into your body. So, in summary, a lot of the germs that make us sick get into our body through openings like our mouths, nose, and eyes. But by practicing good hygiene, we can make it harder for germs to get near these openings in the first place. That's all for this week's question. Thanks, Natasha, for asking it. Before you vote on next week's question, we put together some amazing visuals that we'd love to show you. Take a look inside, or if you don't have time, you can skip straight to voting. Number 5.
So, what's the best way to cover your mouth or your nose whenever you're sneezing?
Number 4.
Oh, let's see if I reload it, if this will work.
Number 4.
Here we go. So what could you do to make this 20 seconds more fun? Well, you could sing a song, you could hum, um, you could try to say all your spelling words as fast as possible. But 20 seconds, that's the minimum to get those germs off, folks. Yeah, the happy birthday song twice. That's 20 seconds.
Number 3.
What part of the hand do you think people forget the most? This surprised me. I thought it would be the fingertips, but it's actually the fingernails. Ugh, look at all those bright green germs. Oof. That's if you don't wash your hands for 20 seconds. You just run them underwater. Let's look at a full 20-second hand wash. Oh, it didn't show it, but basically all the green was gone.
Number 2.
Oof, biting nails. Easy way to get germs in your body. That's a way to break the habit. I wouldn't recommend doing that every day. Touching your face, like your eyes, your nose, all ways of putting germs into your body. Eating your hair, girls. Picking your nose, boys. Ugh, gross.
And now, the last one.
Okay, so that piece of bread, that person hadn't washed their hands and they touched it. This piece of bread they touched after washing their hands. And let's see the results. Oof, that's after a couple weeks. Look at all that mold on the one with dirty hands. Check this out. This is one that a student wiped on their laptop. Look at all that nasty mold. That's why it's important to keep your tablets and stuff clean, and think about every time you touch your tablet, now those germs are on your fingers. So I recommend washing your hands after using your devices. All right, so that's the mystery science video. Let's switch gears here and turn our focus over to our grammar simple solutions, okay? We are on lesson 92. Alright, so pause the video if you need to go get that. Let's begin. Add the suffix. Double the ending consonant. So sometimes you have to double up the letter at the end. Alright, so a bag plus if you just wrote bag plus you'd have a beggar, which doesn't exist. A beggar. Sounds like a beggar. But a beggar becomes a bagger when you double up the G. So someone who bags is a bag. Double up the G. Alright, so number 2, remember to add ES to make words plural that end in S, SH, CH, X, or Z. So let's just make buses plural. Spell it for me. Go ahead. B, U, S, E, S. Well done, boys. Alright, girls, you've got dishes. D, I, S, H, E, S. Nice job. Alright, foxes. Let's see, goes back to the boys. You ready? F, O, X, E, S. Good job, men. And my ladies. Oh, girls. Sorry about this. You've got kisses. I'm talking about the chocolate kind. Kisses. It's funny, whenever I say kisses to Campbell, if he's happy with me, he'll lean in and give me kisses. If he's not happy with me, he'll stick out his cheek and kind of like, fine, daddy, if you have to kiss me, go ahead. But I'm not gonna kiss you back. It drives me crazy, but it's kind of cute too. Alright, choose the word that means the same as the underlined words. Rewrite the new sentence on the lines below. So now that it's raining, we need to schedule, as the British would say, or schedule as we would say, the picnic again on another date. So which one means to schedule again? Reconsider? What? Consider is definitely not schedule. Reschedule, that one's probably right. Or reseal, well, seal is not schedule. So how do we rewrite this sentence using the word reschedule? Well, to save time, let's just draw an arrow and bring the first part down. Now that it's raining, comma, we'll pick up with the we. We need to reschedule. Good job. The picnic on another. So I don't have to write the word again, since I already used it by saying reschedule on another date. Sorry. All right, number 4. Add a comma and quotation marks before the speaker's name. I've never seen this much snow before, said Lisa. Good job, that's Wiley's mom. I've never seen this much snow before, said Mrs. Shep. Okay, so where does my comma go? Well, the comma goes before or after said. Yeah, it goes before, right? Said Mrs. Shep is the part that comes after the comma. So let's put the comma after before. That's called an oxymoron. After before. Get it? It's kind of, yeah, sorry. Quotes go around what she's saying. So she's saying, I've never seen this much snow before. And remember, the quotes always go after punctuation, so after the comma. All right. Has, have, had are helping verbs that tell what happened in the past. The helping verb and the main verb together make up the whole verb. Sherry has made the bed. So let's underline the helping verb, and then we'll underline the main verb. So the helping verb, we're looking for either a has, have, or had. So the boys have, ding, 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 I heard it. Have, and then the main verb is what? The boys have played. Nice. Helping verbs are always right before the main verb. So have, if you can find that, you're going to know the next word is the main verb. So the boys have played, and that's an action word. And they're both past tense, all right? That's important to remember. Have played is past tense. All right, next page, flip it. Choose the word to complete the sentence and write it on the line. So we ran the full blank around the track, or full distance. That makes a lot of sense. Ching. The full early around the track, that makes no sense. Or the full during around the track. The only one that really makes sense is distance. So I'm just going to draw an arrow there. Number 7, add an apostrophe after the S to the plural noun to make it possessive. So to show ownership, like it belongs to a plural or more than one noun, you have to put an apostrophe after the S. So the lion's cage is empty. So a bunch of lions live in the cage. It's empty. We're all going to get eaten. But the apostrophe, at least we know that. The apostrophe goes after the S. Maybe the lions will spare us since we knew that. Okie dokie. When the subject pronoun is I, you, we, or they, do not add S or ES to a verb in the present tense. So let's see if that makes more sense here. Choose the correct form of the verb. You tell very exciting stories, or you tells very exciting stories. Yeah, definitely not tales. You use tales very exciting. The answer is you tell very exciting stories. Remember my rule, 9 out of 10 times, if it sounds right, it probably is right. Or if it sounds wrong, it probably is wrong. So the root word cline means to lean or to bend. Which one of these underlined words which meaning fits the underlined word? So Wyatt loves to sit in Papa's recliner and watch TV. So we need to look for a meaning that probably it has cline in it, so probably either a lean or a bend. So Wyatt loves to sit in Papa's recliner and watch TV. Recliner, would that be a chair that leans back? First try, good job. Let's double check to make sure the other ones are not as good. Papa's sofa, well that could make sense, right, Sophie? But a sofa doesn't lean back, and this is a recliner, so that would be more like a couch, and definitely not a porch. All right, good work. So far, so good. Last one. We've got prepositions. The object is the noun that comes after an action, verb, or a preposition. So choose the object. So we're looking for a noun, a person, place, or thing that comes after either a verb or a preposition. The monkeys ran around the island. So let's find our verb. What are the monkeys doing? Yep, they ran. So that's my verb. The word that comes after that is around. Around is a direction word. Another name for that is a preposition. So I've got an action verb and a preposition, so I'm looking for a noun that comes after these two. Well, the isn't a noun, it's an article, right? Remember a, and the? Right, Bettina? So the only noun that comes after our verb and our preposition is a place called an island. So the object is island, and the object is a noun. So you could write noun on the line if you wanted to. All right, good work. You can close your book, and we're gonna finish today's lesson with some common sense. Okay, so you don't have to write this down. You can just soak it in. Lesson 26. If one parent says no, don't ask the other. Hopefully you already know this common sense lesson by 3rd grade, but it is a one that sparks a lot of debate, and I'm bummed that we're not in class because there's usually some great stories about this. If you ask a parent and they say no, then that is the answer. There is no, oh, I'm going to go ask mom, all right, because dad said no. Or in this funny little meme, it says, if mom says no, I'll ask dad and he'll say yes, right? We all know, and you don't have to say it out loud, but we all know that there are certain things that you will want to ask your mom that you might not ask your dad, or vice versa, all right? For me, if I wanted to spend the night at a friend's house, guess who I asked? You betcha, dad. I asked dad because dad's answer was always, I don't care. If I asked mom, it was usually, no, honey, I don't really want to drive over there. I really don't know. Are their parents okay with it? It turned into a whole affair whenever I asked my mom. So at all costs, I would try to wait and ask dad. All right. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. That's following the common sense rule, right? That's just intelligent um, on your part, being a child. But what you can't do is if you say, "Hey, mom, can I spend the night at a friend's house?" and she says no, then it's disrespectful to go to your dad and ask him. All right, that's disrespectful, and we need to honor our parents. So be wise and be smart on who you ask, and no matter what they say, you need to respect that answer. And there's no begging the other parent to change their mind. All right, one day you'll be grateful that your parents had a united front and they were a team. All right. So anyway, I just want uh, to end the lesson there with some common sense. I am going to project myself real quick. All right. So anyway, I am excited for tonight for our Google Meet session. Obviously, you have already experienced that because I'm filming this video a day before I'm posting it. So you've already experienced it. But anyway, I miss you guys and I love you guys, and I hope that today's lesson helped out. I'm going to attach a Google form just like I did yesterday with 4 questions, one on each topic on each quarter that we learned today. That you don't have to do it, but I think it'd be fun, a good chance to test how much you retained. All right, the word retained means remembered. All right, so feel free to go click on that link right now and fill out that Google form. As soon as you submit it, I'll get your answers. 1, it helps you check for understanding, and 2, it shows me that you watched today's lesson. All right, so this week nothing's mandatory. Starting next week, though, things might become a little more mandatory if we're still off of school. And if I had to bet $1 million, I would bet that we will not be having school next week. So, all right, Mr. R is officially out.